Laura, when GPT-5 was introduced, Sam Altman said that this is the best time to build in history of
Could
humanity.
not agree more.
What's your one-line call to a 20-year-old in Europe deciding whether to start now?
Start. It's
Perfect.
a one word.
Let's
No,
move on.
it is start. So the models are getting better, faster, cheaper. Our models will keep getting better, which means that any use case that you have thought of either is already possible to solve or we're working with you to make sure that you can solve it. So assume, as Sam Altman always says, that our models will keep getting better. Find where there is value, find where there are problems and focus on those, and then work with us, talk to us, give us feedback on how it is that you're using our models so that we can also help you build that relationship and then iterate. Test, do A/B tests, start building. It is very low risk given where the prices are now. And then just go out to market. You will never have better feedback than from your customers.
Welcome to the EU Startups Podcast. Sit back and enjoy the show hosted by Marcin Lewandowski.
Hey everyone, this is Marcin Lewandowski and you're listening to the EU Startups Podcast. Today's guest helps Europe swaps self-doubt for ship dates. Laura Modiano leads Startups EMEA at OpenAI, championing founders as new stuff like apps in ChatGPT, AgentKit, Codex, Sora 2, and GPT-5-pro opens real lanes. From idea to distribution. Laura, so let's talk about, courage, craft, and building here in Europe on our terms. It's such a pleasure to have you on the show. Welcome.
It's such a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much, Marcin.
Amazing. Laura, so I wanted to start with your love letter to founders because I saw it on LinkedIn and it was awesome.
It came
I
from
liked
the
it a lot.
heart.
Yes, it's love letter. It has to come from the heart. So, what line did you? I know you meant all the lines equally, but what line did you mean the most? And were you trying to boost? What is the purpose? Like, were you trying to boost confidence or increase speed? And which one matter? Which one matters more right now?
To me, it's the build here. I see incredible founders, incredible talent across all ages. So whether it is students in university, across universities in Europe, or repeat founders who are thinking, what are we doing next? There is this undercurrent, especially in the summer, there was undercurrent of, are people going to build in Europe or European founders who have this excellent technical talent going to move to the US? And for me, the best advice is build here in Europe, Middle East and Africa. So whether you're in the UK or Finland when I posted this, or across any of the countries that we have in EMEA, I think building out of Europe is critical because we have the technical talent, we have the excitement, we have the money and the funding now, we have the problems that need solving. And whether you're looking to hire a team, whether you're looking to fundraise, whether you're looking to grow, every element for success, I think, is right here in Europe. So for the people who were considering, do I start a company or not? Or do I stay in Europe and build, or do I move to anywhere else? My advice is stay here. It is the right moment, and there has never been a better moment for European founders, in my opinion.
Amazing. It's especially amazing hearing this from someone from OpenAI because it's more encouraging and more. I mean, at least this is my feeling that you if you're saying that you should know. It's if coming from you should know. You're not kind of putting some sugar or honey on founders' ears. It's a truth. And I want to say, so were you when you were posted this love letter? You said you were in Finland. Were you there for because I saw there is this new thing called Fright.
Exactly. So I had actually in the morning, I was at Slush's office and I
Uh-huh.
did something called Frunch, which was a friends brunch to the Slush team. And I saw so much excitement because Slush is a conference that I think is one of the best tech conferences in the world.
Mm.
And it is run by students and is run by young people who are so embedded in what students are doing and yet seeing some of the best founders and investors and people in the ecosystem that are drawn to Europe to
Mm.
share their knowledge. So this was in the morning, and then in the evening we had the demo day of Freight, which is a hacker house that brings builders for 3 months to live in the same house. They're all young and excited and
Mm.
building really deep tech solutions that were beyond anything I had imagined at the time. And it truly made me feel like there is so much hope and skill and quality and potential. And there were 60 investors in the room that had flown
Mm.
in from around the world to see what these young builders, and I say young because everyone at Freight has to be under 30, I believe.
Yeah.
So everyone there who had come in for the demo day had come in to see what these people were building.
Mm.
And no one felt like they were there because they had to. Everyone was there because they wanted to support those builders. So
Mm.
just before demo day, as I had been doing some advice giving and sort of an AMA with the builders before demo day, I
Mhm.
truly felt this passion and urgency to say, just whatever you're building and you're thinking and you're working on, start, take a risk, go out and fundraise, take the first leap to entrepreneurship. It's not just a pet project. This is truly a company that can live on, and everyone is here to support you.
Amazing. Laura, so I wanted to ask you, since we were talking about this already and European founders and everything. So I wanted to ask you, what's Europe's like unfair advantage? Uh, can be in AI, can be in general right now.
Mhm.
It has to be in AI because AI is everywhere. It's general. I just realized myself saying that. And like, what's the bottleneck we must remove first? And I wanted to kind of give it a context because I was so I have friends now building some startups and being based out of San Francisco. Some of them are from Poland. Some of them went through Y Combinator, so I would have a call with them like I don't know, once a month, um, just to catch up and see how like to compare things and how the things are going in terms of tech and startups. And recently I had a call with one of them, and he said that especially when it comes to AI, like it's just hard to beat San Francisco, and it's not going to be beatable in any way anytime soon, given that AI is kind of um, it's still kind of new technology, and like the most money, the most talent, the most like kind of everything is still based in San Francisco right now. He told me something like that if you move away, like if you're a founder trying to like raise or build in San Francisco, it's most likely that it's not most likely, but more likely that you're gonna raise faster, raise bigger, find better talent, find better investors, and so on and so forth. And he told me that like the like the likelihood of raising fast and succeeding once you're out of San Francisco, for instance, you move to London, it drops like 10x. Then you move to Berlin, it drops like 20x. Then you move to Barcelona, it drops like 50x. What do you say
I
about it?
would certainly challenge that. And I think if you're built, a few things. First of all, I completely disagree. I think there is
Right.
a lot of potential to build incredible category leading companies out of Europe. If we look
Mhm.
at consumer or gaming or legal tech or agent or fintech or
Mhm.
health tech, we have some of the best companies here. And by the way, the VC trends are showing that as well. So I was reading recently a Deal Room, the funding, VC funding in Europe, where the money's coming from,
Mhm.
and 40% of VC money is coming in this year in 2025 is
Yeah.
coming from outside of Europe, because some of the best funds around the world who can invest in specific industries are picking European companies as category leaders. Whether we're looking at Legora in Sweden in legal tech, or Parloa in Germany in agentic customer service, or if we're looking at any kind of, in med tech with Tortoise, which is right here in the UK, and Limbic, which is in mental health. Khosla invested in Limbic, as they did in Tortoise. General Catalyst invested in Legora and Sana, as did Iconic and Altimeter and others. So when they're looking at what the best companies in the world in these categories are, and they have an opportunity cost, they are choosing to come and invest here in increasing rates. And that has gone up from 32 to 40% because more and more global investors are focusing on what is being built in Europe. That's the first thing. The second thing is, I don't think it's an unfair advantage. I think quite the opposite. It is our European skill of turning challenges into opportunities and moats. We have a fragmented market. We know that. You can see that as a negative. I choose to see it as a positive. And I say, if you can be successful in Europe, out of Europe, understanding that every market is different, that the problems, because of how the market is shaped, because of how the flow of work goes, how decision making happens, etc., what the stakeholders look like, if you can change that into an opportunity and say, I can at the same time go to market across Europe in different languages, in different structures, in different systems, in different pay flows, then I can go to market anywhere in the world. And winning globally doesn't mean only winning in Europe. It doesn't mean only winning in the US. It means winning globally. So there is a level of abstraction and generalization to be able to go to market everywhere across Europe at the same time that is necessary here, that allows you to also go to market in the US at the same time, versus someone in a different market, whether in the East or the West, would have to go to market in their market and then come and understand how Europe works. And that, I think, is a step further that they have to take, whereas we're starting with an understanding of fragmentation is opportunity. And every customer and every user, no matter where they are, should be able to benefit from what it is that we're building. And I'm very proud of the work that European founders are putting in that. And lastly, we have incredible technical talent in Europe. So I think, I know that Europe has more STEM graduates than the US or China at the moment. So the people who are actually building the products, and with AI, we're going more and more into technical building and necessary technical skills to build these category defining companies that investors love, that customers are using, that the AI panels of the large enterprises are questioning and digging into to see how they're going to be solving the problems. So having the technical talent here, being able to hire across languages with different points of view, I think is truly an advantage that we have to build some of the best companies in the world.
Amazing. I love the answer, Laura. And I was wondering about your point of view. This discussion, like with the friend I was talking, like I had a like huge
Tell your
argument.
friends to come back to Europe. We're a very, very welcoming area.
Yeah, exactly. I had a huge discussion. I was like using similar arguments to you, and like saying no, it's. I love the point of view, and I 100% agree. I wanted to also ask you, actually, speaking of building in Europe and European founders, if you're like a day zero founder, could you map like the fastest path from idea to prototype using OpenAI's latest stack?
Of course. So, first of all, make sure that you're building to solve a problem. My advice to anyone is, if you try and understand the market that you're operating in, do a little bit of deep research on ChatGPT to understand truly what your market looks like. Whether you're going in front of an investor or customers, it's just really good to understand what that market looks like. First of all. Second, especially with GPT-5 now, you can do a lot of very quick prototyping on ChatGPT and on Canvas to see what something looks like, and then use that to go on the API and start building on our platform. You can internally use Codex to help you with coding agents to, again, advance how quickly you are building code, and then continue to iterate. But these would be my four steps. One, ChatGPT deep research, understand the problem. Two, build a prototype on ChatGPT to be able to interact with it on an actual prototype. C, go to the API, start building, and then D, use Codex to build faster, have better code, refactor your code, and then make sure that you have a really strong product.
Nice. It's a masterclass, for the audience, but also for myself. That's why I was so excited about having you on the show. What's the another question? What's the number one mistake you see when teams add AI to an existing product?
Yeah. So I think that is true for whether you're a startup, small, medium business, a digital native, a SaaS company, or a very large enterprise. So for every single company or team or product, when you're doing anything, AI or not, you should have a purpose and a goal.
Mhm.
So have some metrics and measurable outputs. Be clear why you're doing what you're doing and how you're going to measure it. And then build it for purpose. So if you're integrating AI, make sure that you're doing it because you have a use case, you know what value it's going to create, where the impact is going to happen, and understand that changing one thing in one place is going to have an impact on the dependencies before and after. So understand how each step fits in with everything before and after. And lastly, understanding that implementing AI in a step is for purpose of a final outcome. So work backwards from that final outcome. If it is that you want to improve sales or efficiency or satisfaction of a patient or whatever that might be,
Mhm.
understand how each of the steps in the workflow are having an impact on that final outcome,
Mhm.
and then work backwards from that.
Nice. Laura, let's talk apps in ChatGPT. Generally, like we have to cover, like, because there are so many new things recently
We
launching.
were very excited to announce it at Dev Day on Monday last week.
Yeah, yeah, it was awesome to see. And so I was just wondering, like, how does like apps in ChatGPT, how does this change discovery and distribution and monetization for startups?
Of course. So I'll start with the last part of the question on
Uh,
monetization. We will share details on monetization soon, including support for the agentic commerce protocol.
mhm.
Our goal is the fair, open, and durable developer economy in ChatGPT. When we do, I will let you know. But more importantly, for now, we have been working on making ChatGPT more useful by connecting it to the tools and services people already use every day. So connectors, we have Gmail or GCal integrations through MCP. And apps we think are the next step in this direction. So
Mm,
apps make ChatGPT more useful, personal, and interactive. So blending natural conversations with rich interfaces like maps, playlists, slides is how you can discover them on ChatGPT, which suggests at the right time by calling the specific apps.
mhm.
So if you're building applications that have that interface and you want to be where the 800 million users of ChatGPT are,
Exactly.
it's a
Yeah,
great opportunity to work with us.
it's a crazy
So
number, and yeah, and it's like such a huge opportunity. Laura, so by the way, like for UK and like slash Europe, like they're not a launch, right? How should founders, prepare now so they're ready on day one?
yeah. So first of all, we always post any launches that we have on our website. So do keep up to date. Second, we have build hours and cookbooks. So build hours are live sessions which you can follow how different tools are built, different advice, different prompt guides, etc. They also live online. So if you go to openai.com/startups,
Mhm.
anything related to startups is there. And you can go to the video library that has all the previous build hours that we've had. Even if something isn't launched in your region or geo at the moment, you can still follow on and then prepare for that in advance. And the
Mhm.
second thing is cookbooks. So again, on the same website, you can find the cookbooks, which is advice on how to use different tools and features, prompting guides, evals guides, etc. Some of
Mhm.
them we write ourselves, some of them we write in partnership with startups and other companies in market that give you the best advice for how to use certain tools. So always staying up to date, no matter how much experience you have, I think is just good practice.
Mm, sounds good. And talking about AgentKit,
Yeah.
give us a concrete use case where agents unlock something standard, APIs can't.
So I think the one of the most exciting things about AgentKit that we launched last week is the fact that now you have a chat UI, so developers can chat with the agent that they're building, guardrails and evals, and these are essential because building agents is there's the first part of saying what should the agent do, but more importantly, how should it behave to be safe and to have the right guardrails for the specific use case and to have evals to see how it compares to other things. That is you as a developer has
Mhm.
to figure out what those are for the specific application that you're building.
Nice. Laura, I don't want it to feel like an interview, but I haven't. If
Please.
it's an intro, if it feels like an interview, I fail. I want it to be like a conversation.
Yeah,
But I have another like question about Codex, like because there's like
I'm very
so
excited about Codex.
yes, there's so many things to cover. And Codex, like with enterprise features, how should startups
Yeah.
fold this, into the dev workflow
So
without
first of all,
getting
Codex,
it
we're
right?
very excited because it truly is one of those products that had real value add to developers. So,
Uh-huh.
A, we're seeing incredibly positive feedback. B, we've seen that since August, we've had 10x growth in the adoption and usage. So, it
Mhm.
is one of the fastest growing products that we've launched, truly because we've built something that our users want and see value out of. And then three, it can do multiple things. So some of the use cases that I personally recommend and I think are of great value for Codex are technical onboarding, so
Mhm.
answering general or specific questions about bases, feature development, so quickly turning feature requests into ready to merge codes, code refactoring and optimization, so simplifying and automating refactoring and optimization tasks, documentation automation, so automating and streamlining tedious documentation tasks. And finally, daily task management. So, kickstarting daily backlog tasks, automating initial task execution, and bug identification and resolution. So, identifying and resolving bugs to reduce debugging workload. The magic about this is that we've
Mhm.
seen from developers and engineers who are using Codex 70% more pull requests since they started using it, which means there is higher ROI, there is more efficiency. What is shipped is better and faster. It means more uh, potential for
Mhm.
people focusing on what it is that they want to build rather than how it is that they're building it necessarily. So
Mhm.
it truly is a partner for developers and engineers, and we're only expecting it to continue to grow and to create more
Mhm.
value out of market.
Amazing. I have two more things to cover with you from
Yeah.
the Dev Day, and that I'm really excited about. So Sora 2 and GPT-5 Pro. So let's start with Sora 2. Like via API again. The most responsible high ROI use you expect to see first.
Um, I've seen a few of the companies that are in the marketing
Uh,
space or in the consumer space. So, for example, the first company I heard of that had Sora 2 on the API was Veed, which is again a UK company, Veed.io.
mhm.
And they do AI video generation models. They're using Sora 2 already, and their users can now generate videos for all their use cases with Sora 2. Similarly, Superscale, which is in the ad creation space, and others. So I think Unreal Labs is also using it. So it's very exciting to see how quickly this was adopted.
Awesome. And GPT-5 Pro, but, like I wanted to know like GPT-5 Pro versus like cheaper models. Like, what's your decision rubric? Like stakes, accuracy, cost, latency. Like, how do you choose what to use?
So first of all, GPT-5 Pro and the API is our most intelligent and capable model available in the API. It
Mhm.
thinks harder to produce better answers. It is more accurate, follows instructions better, and makes smarter decisions. Now, having said that, I think like all models, it really depends on the use case that you're building. It does come at a higher cost and there's a trade-off in latency, but it is more expensive because it does different things. In the same way that if you are building an application for a medical or a clinical application versus for a consumer application, you might just need different things. I think it always goes back to what you're building, what the best model for your use case is, and then what your business model looks like. I cannot tell you what the best model for you is. It might be um, GPT-5-pro, it might be GPT-5 Nano, it might be GPT OSS, which we also launched in the summer. So I think it has to be the developers that are truly testing the models and the use cases. And sometimes for some cases, it is GPT-5 Pro, and for others, it will be another one. We have multiple models, and we welcome developers across use cases. We work with them to make sure that they are successful in the model that works for them. We also have a fantastic technical success team that does help with prompting, with evals, and with really going into the engineering needs to make sure that we are helping you at the point where you are. We always want to guide you to what is most affordable, most efficient, and most appropriate for you. We're very much want to make sure that people have the ability to use as much as possible with as little as possible. We want people to iterate fast, build fast, test fast, and then do it in the most affordable way possible for them.
Amazing. Laura, like on the other hand, like so building in AI and like working with OpenAI as you do, you probably also have experienced a lot of like push from the other side from like people who like people who are impacted by AI and like their jobs are being replaced, or like people say that they'll be replaced by AI, or like that is the most uh, kind of popular thing. The people say
Mhm.
that you're not going to be replaced by AI, but you're going to be replaced by the person who uses AI or uses AI better. Like I just like getting to the question. I am generally a huge fan of generally AI and ChatGPT. I use it like all day long, all the time for different things, different like to break I don't know, like insane, huge amount of information or like complex information into like smaller beats of like metaphors that I can understand. I use it when I am with my daughter to explain world to her, or like even to
Yeah.
actually be a better parent, be a better dad. And I am just a huge fan of like when I think about when I imagine how the world will look like. Um, I just can't wait. I'm like super optimistic about it, and but like, so I've actually experienced a bit of heat recently for saying those things out loud, and for saying that AI will be generally like a net positive for society, and and I understand like the both things are real, that people are maybe like the pain is real, people are afraid of being replaced and like what's going to happen to them and their jobs and so on. But on the other hand, like and I was born in Poland. I like nothing was kind of
Fantastic builders have come out of Poland. We're very
yes,
proud of the Polish founders,
yeah, I know, like a
including
lot
some
of
of OpenAI's founders.
nice,
Yeah.
a lot of technical talent, and
Yes.
it's but like it was like so, like nothing was handed into us, and like I changed schools, countries, cultures a lot, and so I have like my lenses come from like a lot of greed, a lot of like EQ, and a lot of empathy. So I can understand those people and like their fears, or like what they think about it,
Yeah.
and just for me it's all like it was hard to like kind of handle like this because I welcome the disagreement and like debate, but let's keep it human, like no personal attacks and stuff like that. I was thinking, how do you cope with this, because probably
Yeah.
you must experience some of those.
So first of all, I'm extremely proud of the work that we do and the mission that we have at hand. I think there is so much value to be created, and I do not
Yeah.
see this as replacement. I see it very much as augmenting and making people's lives easier. Just from the data that we've collected and from enterprises that we work with, we find there's 95% time saved that has been
Mhm.
reported from enterprises that we work with. There is more reporting of productivity, creativity, work satisfaction. 77% of people are saying they're able to complete new tasks or activities that they previously were not able to.
Mhm.
And 72% are saying they're more creative in their work. And again, over 70% are more satisfied with the jobs they do. So, you mentioned your daughter. I have a 9-year-old daughter. If I get to go home an hour earlier per day, it's a huge
Mhm.
win for me. My job does not change, it just gets more efficient. And I think that's the actual magic of AI, that it makes me better at my job and it gives me opportunities to do more with less time or in less time. So I think
Mhm.
that's the important thing. Um, and then what I love about founders, and I don't think that's just European founders or just American founders, I think all the startups that I work with, the thing that they say is like, we're a new company, we're very strapped on time and resources, and we want to be able to grow as fast as possible. So we're looking at the workflows that we have internally, whether it is we have like 2 or 3 go to market people, or we're a very small developer team. So, how can we continue to grow faster? Well, we're seeing that with AI workflows, you have sprints that used to take 2 weeks on the engineering side cut down to 3-day cycles. We're
Mhm.
seeing AI ways, we're seeing teams on the sales side qualifying sales leads, understanding what their customers are asking for, understanding the feedbacks, doing continuous alpha tests, because AI makes it possible. So it is very much a positive and a net positive that creates more value, more jobs, better products, better experiences, and more opportunity to build more, to do more, and to bring value across the board. So
Mhm.
again, if you take the example of a patient and a doctor sitting in a doctor's office, you're not replacing the doctor. You're not replacing the appointment. What you are replacing is the doctor having to take notes at the same time or
Yeah.
having to dictate afterwards. You're allowing that clinician to have twice the number of appointments with twice the number of satisfaction for both the patient and the doctor. The fact that you have transcription and coding in the same time does not take the doctor's responsibility away from it. It just allows them to do it faster, to then have the doctor read the note, validate it, correct it, submit it, owning the full control, but having been able to look at you in your eyes and talk to you as a patient rather than someone that has to get out of the door because there's someone else and notes and this and this and that.
Yeah.
So improving that experience on every single piece of your life, because startups are building using these tools, I think truly is a net positive that creates value for everyone in society.
Mm. I love it, and I 100% agree. And Johnny, on top of that, like you're just getting your time back, and this time back is just gonna like AI is not gonna take your job or replace you. That's my stand. It's gonna give you the time back to actually figure out what what you were the best at, what you love
I
doing,
mean, it
which
made
you
me
like.
fall in love with my job again, I have to say,
Yeah,
because I
exactly.
I truly love my job. I love working with founders, with investors, with developers. I love being out in the wild. And the
Mm,
fact that I can do that efficiently means that, some of my day-to-day life is now focused back on doing what I'm
mm,
truly good at. And yet I have the support of the tools to allow me to do that and get home to see my kid at night.
amazing. Laura, when GPT-5 was introduced,
Yeah.
Sam Altman said that this is the best time to build in like history of
Could
humanity.
not agree more.
What's your one line call to a 20-year-old in Europe deciding whether to start now?
Start. It's a
Perfect.
one word.
That's
No,
my goal.
it is start. So the models are getting better, faster, cheaper. If you
Mhm.
think of the fact that we are now in October 25, and the first reasoning model ever was O1 preview that was launched in mid-September 24, it's been a year and a month. And think of all the development that we've had in a single year, how much has been launched, how much capability has been provided to developers to build anything that it is that they want to build.
Yeah.
Our models will keep getting better, which means that any use case that you have thought of, either is already possible to solve, or we're working with you to make sure that you can solve it. So assume, as Sam Altman always says, that our models will keep getting better. Find
Mhm.
where there is value, find where there are problems, and focus on those, and then work with us, talk to us, give us feedback on how it is that you're using our models so that we can also help you build that relationship, and then iterate, test, do A B tests, start building. It is very low risk given where the prices are now. And then just go out to market. You will never have better feedback than from your customers.
Amazing. I love it, Laura. This is the time. This is usually the time during the show that I play a little game with my guests.
Let's do
It's
it.
I call it rapid fire. You already said let's do it. Nice. My question was like, are you out for playing? But okay, let's just do it.
Yes. Who doesn't
Uh,
like games?
yes. So okay, here comes the first rapid fire question. Favorite new OpenAI capability for startups?
Oh, the latest Codex capabilities. As I said before, I think they're bringing so much value to developers. Um, I love it. I love to see my colleagues use it. I love to hear from my customers that they're using it. So, just the joy that it's bringing to developers definitely makes me very happy to see how much positive reaction and adoption it's had recently.
Awesome. Most underrated feature or product in the OpenAI stack?
So I think very happily developers love our products and we get a lot of love for them. It depends on the use case. We've had a lot of recent developments on voice. So Dev Day, we had Codex announcements, AgentKit announcements, and apps in ChatGPT. We
Mhm.
also had new developments on real time. And I think there is so much value that is being created right now on voice and how we interact with systems that I would love to see people continue to double down on what is possible in translating the physical world into the online world.
Nice. I like it. Laura, best founder habit you see repeatedly?
Workflow reviews, and that is continuous workflow reviews. So that and I'd say continuous alpha testing. So two things. One, and that's founder as well as like overall teams, but all workflows start at some point and then there's an evolution, especially with startups as you grow and depending on how quickly you grow. Some of the workflows may require reviews. Some of it can go in automation. Some of it is as every time we add someone new or a different customer or a different way of operating, or we've just like graduated to the next step of our milestones. Just doing that review to make sure that you're efficient and that it works for everyone and it works for the stage you're at, I think is essential. And a lot of the founders I work with are actually asking their teams to use AI in their workflows to be up to speed and up to date with their own ways. So I find that to be great. And the other one is, especially ones that are growing fast, are always keeping like a 1-2% of their user base on an alpha, because every time they ship something they just want to be testing and iterating. And I think it's just really good practice to make sure that you're working with continuous feedback from your customer the same way that we do.
Awesome. Laura, next one. Founder you'd swap jobs with for a week?
I know I'm supposed to give you an answer, but honestly I wouldn't, because there are people who are founders and then there
Uh-huh.
are people who are there to be quarterbacks to founders, and that's me.
Right.
I, for good or bad, never wanted to start a company, but I am living my dream job, which was to work with the best founders and enable
Uh-huh.
them, support them, partner with them to make sure that they can deliver. A lot of them are smarter than me, and I'm such a fan of the work they do. And I feel so grateful that I get to be in their corner and help them become successful in my way.
Okay. Very
I'm
diplomatic.
thankful to OpenAI for letting me bring those products to make that possible to them.
Nice. Amazing. So no founder you'd swap jobs for a week with.
No,
Um, that's good.
sorry.
That's good of an answer as well. I like it actually.
You
Okay.
know what? I get to really, really love what I do, and that's
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah. I can imagine. Yeah. It's amazing. I actually I feel like I can relate. For me like this like founders have, like the problems they say that don't fall in love with idea, they fall in love with a problem, right? So
Exactly.
they have problems they fall in love with. They have the obsession. They have the extraordinary
Truer
domain
words have not
expertise.
been spoken.
Yeah, exactly. And then you have like actually the opportunity to work with many of them and kind of just help them get there faster and hopefully with less pain, because like building company can be painful, as we
Yeah.
know. It's amazing job.
We
So
all have roles to play in the ecosystem, and some people have
yeah.
to build, some people have to fund, some people have to partner and support.
Mm,
It's important that we all have the right role for us.
100%. Laura, last two. These are actually sentences for you to finish. So yeah, finish the sentence. AI should make life more, not less.
AI should make life more exciting, easy, efficient, and creative, and not less glued to your laptop.
There you go.
It should give you
You're,
time back, really.
yeah. Europe doesn't need permission. It needs.
Urgency.
Nice. That's a nice one to end the conversation with. Laura, thank you so much for joining me on the
Thank you.
podcast today. It's been such a great conversation. I love
It's
it.
a real pleasure to talk to you. And thank
Thanks
you
so
for
much.
having me.
I'm sure people will love it as well. And I hope to see you in person sometime. So I know you're like super busy and stuff going around Europe, building the ecosystem. Yeah, hope to meet you again in person sometime.
Thank you so much.